Hello to our YouTube watchers and listeners. The video for this week could be kindly described as garbage, and so we're not going to have that for you. You can still, of course, listen to the podcast. You can do that while looking at our wonderful logo designed by Jordan Kirtley. You can check out previous episodes here on YouTube, edited by our video editor, Carly Cooper. And you can check out all of our past episodes at kmuw.org or through your regular listening podcast platform. Apologies really for this week. It's just something that couldn't be helped, and that happens sometimes, right? Okay, on with the show. From KMUW Wichita.
From Toronto, Ontario.
And from Armenia, Spain.
This is You're Saying It Wrong. Let's talk words. Let's talk words. Let's talk spooky words. Halloween's almost here. I'm Fletcher Powell, host and producer at KMUW in Wichita, Kansas, and joining me as they do each week, language experts and New York Times best-selling authors, Kathy Petrus and Ross Petrus. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Ross. Before we get going today, I just noticed something right before I got on with you guys. I'm going to read this sentence. The sentence doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm saying, but I just what?
Wait a minute, that's that one I don't understand.
I mean, there's a word in the sentence that's important. It's not what the sentence is about, but it's about the mayoral race between Cuomo and Mamdani right now in New York City. It's former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's sought to paint Zoran Mamdani as an extremist, has homed in on questions about his stance on prostitution. Ooh. And so we've talked about homed in versus hone in, right?
Yes.
And we know that properly it should be homed in, not honed.
Correct.
But here's what happened to me. I saw this written correctly, homed in, and I thought, whoa, that looks weird.
Wow. That's interesting.
I gotta tell you, right now when you read it, that was my first impulse, sadly, was wait, shouldn't that have been honed? Right? I swear to God.
Yeah.
Which is wrong.
I'm so used to seeing honed and then also thinking, oh, that's wrong, it should be homed every time.
But you don't.
But now when I actually do see homed, I think, whoa, that's weird.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
As we were speaking, I did a quick look on Google Ngram Viewer, which, as Kathy always says, only does in print. So it's not.
No, it only does books, which is a very different thing than in print.
Yeah. Kat gets off. You always get this slightly excited anti-Google Ngram tone, Kat. I'm sorry. But anyway, I just looked it up. It's honed in, skyrocketed in the 2000s, particularly after... But after like about 206, it just skyrocketed. Oh, wow. Which is interesting. And then I'm looking at homed in. And admittedly, Kathy can tell us a little bit about why it's not that accurate. But and homed in actually also increased. It's interesting. Homed in has a slightly more elegant sound to it in a weird way. Does it to you guys?
Honestly, yes. Honestly, I've always thought, before I learned what hone means and that it should be homed in, I always thought homed in sounded too colloquial or something.
Yeah, sort of homey, but not.
Yeah. Hone in, because hone in sounds like you're making a sharp laser point.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, though, speaking of misused words, Kath, do you want to read our wonderful email?
Oh, well, was that a segue, Ross? Gosh. Okay, it's an email from Ross's neck of the woods, Jessica in Toronto.
Hi, Jessica.
And I want to say Ross actually checked this out. So
we drove by it yesterday. Yes.
Oh, cool.
She wrote, I have heard you all talk about confusables a number of times, and I think I have a doozy for you. This is a sign I saw in downtown Toronto advertising a high-rise building that was being constructed. Quote, the new stewards of Toronto's most prolific address.
What?
What does that mean?
Isn't that weird? And the sign is all over. I mean, it's like, it's all over the place. I see it. And then I looked online, and it's definitely, it's a Tridel construction company, and they have it there too. And then I looked online in Urban Toronto, which is, a website with people posting, and someone put, I think Tridel needs someone to rework their verbiage for the building scenic ground level. The new stewards of Toronto's most prolific address. Prolific? What did they mean?
What do they mean?
We talked about that. I mean, first of all, prolific, as you know, means like fruitful, producing fruit, especially.
Or abundant growth. I mean, not just...
Yeah.
I like the fruit angle. I like the concept of a fruitful high-rise.
I know. But it can also be, productivity, inventiveness. My gut feeling, I was telling Kath, I think they think it means prestigious.
Oh.
A prestige address.
Really? I mean, that's as good a guess as any. Wow.
I couldn't figure it out. Ross and I were talking. I was like proactive, professional. I was going with all the pros, and those are surely not right.
Well, the stewards to me gives an idea of
Yeah.
They're thinking it's fancy. The curators. I have a feeling of. That's my gut feel, and it's on. It's on Bloor Street. It's a really good area of town. That's my gut.
Yeah.
Well, most prolific address. If they said most prolific business or something, because then you go, they're building all over Toronto.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
How can an address be?
I agree.
Fruitful?
Maybe it's like an artist's commune, and they're
Yeah.
putting out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of really rich artists too, I have to say, on that street. Your average, millionaire a year, million a year artist, I don't know. I thought it was a really good question, and my gut is prestige.
Yeah,
because
prestigious.
Because they're like, this is. Sorry, I say prestigious and prestigious. It should be prestigious, but I always say the other one. Prestige, whatever. But I do think that it had that feel to me, where the
I think you're right. I would argue that it's very problematic.
Yes.
Toronto's most problematic address. Not sure that's a good ad, but yeah.
It's memorable.
Well, anyway, going on, we're moving into Halloween now. And one thing I found, we were just looking up words for Halloween, and I found this really beautiful. I never really liked Longfellow, the poet. I never really thought about him, I'm just going to read a quick excerpt. I thought it was really beautiful. It's sort of a haunted house. All houses wherein men have lived and died are haunted houses. Through the open doors, the harmless phantoms on their errands glide, with feet that make no sound upon the floors. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, that's nice.
And it was funny because I read it and then I looked up and I thought I saw like a whoosh in the house.
My problem is I really have always detested Longfellow. That is nice, actually, but
it is.
I have that little, but it's Longfellow.
I know. I agree with you. Although as a kid, I sort of liked Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. Didn't he do that one? The
Yes,
Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. That sort of sounds cool. Whatever.
But anyway, we're moving on. So it's Halloween. That was our haunted house open. So we're going, ooh.
With a ghost.
Ooh.
Yeah, ghost sound.
So there's a ghost in there. What do ghosts say, Fletcher?
Ghosts say boo.
Yes.
Why, Fletcher?
Why do ghosts say boo? Because it's scary.
A good answer, but not helpful.
This was an interesting one to us because, of course, partly it may go back to Latin, which is the sound boare, which comes from the Greek, ancient Greek, to cry aloud, roar, or shout. But the normal thing was disapproval, not anything more. Like booing is like, whatever, or shout.
Yeah, like you do at a ball game.
So originally it was scary because we didn't want to be disapproved of.
No, actually, possibly to some degree.
Two things got me. Was first of all, I was fascinated by the fact that in the Netherlands, cows say boo instead of moo. I'm sorry, that was like one of those little things that I just found interesting. And that the booing actually originally came from to say boo or bow to a goose. And the proverb was, he can't say bow or boo to a goose. And it meant someone was timid. I don't know why you want to, but you wouldn't go up to the goose and go, bow.
I mean, I wouldn't. Geese are mean. I would not do that.
I'm going to interject something here, Kath. When you said that Netherlands, they say boo, technically, this is sort of a Latin thing again. Technically, they're two different words, boare and mugire. They're both words that cows make. Cows, when they're bellowing, make boares. They boo. Cows, when they're sort of calmly mooing, they're doing mugires, which is really an interesting thing.
Wow.
So both moo and boo come from the Latin.
Okay, so an upset cow is going boo.
Yes, a calm cow is going moo. And it was really weird because I knew both words in Latin, but never really thought, oh my gosh, there is a difference. I would use them that way. Mm-hmm. So in other words, the cows in our country are calm. In the Netherlands, apparently they're not. Anyway, go on. If they're booing.
What else got me though was the fact when you said the thing about booing initially was more of the expressing disapproval, like the booing in a ball game. Is I didn't realize how booing has been around in that sense for so long. It was really common in London theaters. I mean, Brits, of course, political. I mean, you can picture that in the houses. I mean, we still see that sort of thing. And they said, in Italy, opera goers were really big at booing. It's like, I mean, what did you do? The tenor would come out and you just start going, boo, apparently.
I know, it's so, that is so weird, I know.
It's an effective sound for expressing disapproval, like it cuts through.
It does.
Well, so
But over time, basically, I was just going to do that. How did boo become like a ghosty thing?
Yeah.
Over time, it started getting scary, and it's from Scotland. A lot of the scary words that we use now are Scottish, and they also show up in Scrabble a lot, I just want to say. And they started using the term boo cow for hobgoblins or scarecrows. And then there was the Boo Man was a goblin that haunted people. So the whole concept of boo started getting attached to scary sort of haunty things. And then over time, I love this little thing. Speaking of poetry, the Boo Man was this bad goblin guy. And they had a Scottish poem that was in the Dictionary of the Scots language. It says, Kings, counsellors, and princes fair, as weal as the common ploughmen. I maced their pleasures mixed with care and dread some muckle bowman.
I love that.
I like the muckle. So then ghosts got attacked. Then ghosts got into the muckle crowd, the muckly bad guys.
But what interested me also, though, was that, like in ancient Greece, playwrights like Euripides, and then in Latin, and then in Rome, Seneca, the ghosts then would talk. They were very talkative ghosts. But gradually, ghosts began to lose their language. They began to not be very literary. They started saying just boo instead of...
what happened?
I know. Which I thought was really kind of cool. I never really thought of very literate, prolific ghosts in terms of language. Or
are you sure you don't mean
ghosts.
Prestigious ghosts?
Well, actually, they would be more prestigious. They're like, literary, using good words and all of that.
Yeah.
So now they're going, hey, boo, like that.
Yeah, it's very odd how that happened. I mean, because it was at the same time, though, the boo started getting more and more popular right at the same time that ghosts became more popular. Mm-hmm. So it's it's like, but if you have like the smart ghosts back in the ancient Greeks, so then you've got these dumb boo ghosts right when everybody's like doing like Houdini with his, the paranormal. It's like, so you're trying to talk to the ghosts and they're not even very chatty anymore.
I know.
Boo.
And finally, the one last thing, this isn't as much etymological, but Kath and I both didn't realize how much Gothic fiction really informed the whole ghost thing and the boo thing. Mm-hmm. And then apparently with Frankenstein and the vampire and all that, British police started reporting like alarming numbers of people actually faking. I didn't know there were such things as ghost impersonators. These were hoaxers who would camp out in graveyards and sort of in robes and like scare people at night. I didn't even realize this was a thing going on. And the Victorian police were running around catching ghost impersonators.
It's a living.
I know.
Okay, let's move on now. Speaking of boo, what about boogeyman or bogeyman?
Mm-hmm. Well,
is that related to the word boo, Fletcher?
Well, I'm guessing not now. I would have thought so, especially when you started talking about the boo man earlier. But since you're asking the question, I'm guessing that they are not related.
Ross?
I don't know. That's a toughie. We looked at the etymology. It comes from bog, boge, a dialectical variant of Middle English boogie, which is a frightening specter. And so it probably doesn't. But I partly wonder, though, if it originated, this is not said here, but if it originated or kind of co-evolved, you know what I mean? I mean, they say, ghost, dialect words for ghost, specter, haunting specter, boogie, etc., bogart, specter that haunts a gloomy.
I'm sorry, Ross. It's Bogart.
I was thinking we were talking about film, and I was thinking of Humphrey Bogart for
Humphrey Bogart.
But so I partly wonder. I don't think it really is, but I do wonder if it does have sort of a co-evolutionary, where it informs back and forth.
Yeah,
I don't think so personally. I don't. Because I think that you had so many, like with the whole thing with bogey or being such a prominent word, and Bogart, the specter, and blah, blah, blah. And then the boggle was ghost, bogle. Bogle. I don't know. Yeah.
It could be. We don't really know. But that's the classic etymologies say no. But, there's a possibility. That's all. Moving right along, we get into cobweb. The next door neighbors have very elaborate fake cobwebs on their porch right now. What is the cob, Fletcher, in cobweb? We can give you a hint. Tolkien.
So this is funny. I don't know for sure that I would have remembered this, but recently I was listening back to our episode on cranberry morphemes, and you guys brought up this exact word, asking me if the cob meant anything in the cob and cobweb. And it turns out, I didn't think so, but it turns out, yes, it does. And it used to be a term for spider, right? Mm-hmm. What I was amazed by, less than the word, although we can get into that, was that I never realized that cobwebs were abandoned spider webs. That freaked me out. Because as Kathy said,
really?
Well, as Kathy said, where did they go? Where are they now? No,
let's not think about that.
I always thought they were just like collections of dust that somehow formed into web-like shapes. But
I didn't have that, unfortunately.
And we grew up in a house with a lot of cobwebs.
Yeah, and I'm an arachnophobe. I do not like spiders. I could take like roaches or anything else. Spiders really flip me. I'll just go quickly and say one thing. I was in a jungly area, walking down this path. And suddenly I look up, and there are these hundreds of huge, giant cobwebs with spiders that must have been, I don't know, like 6 inches across. I was like, oh my, get me out of here. Oh, wow. Anyway, let's go on.
But yes, cobweb, spider's web. Actually, though, the cob is really came from addercop with a P.
Yes.
From the Old English attercoppe, which literally means poison head, which I really like.
Ooh, wow.
That's sort of cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the Old English, they think probably from Old English kop, which is top or head. Old Norse kubi, or Low German something or other, kub, which is something rounded. And that's where the spider, the head came in.
Oh, wow.
And the whole concept of cob as a standalone, I don't know if we said that in the other one, but as a standalone for spider was pretty much dead, archaic, until Tolkien used it in The Hobbit. So that's how it kind of got a little push back into the English language.
It's funny, though, when I remember first reading The Hobbit years ago, and I loved the word addercop. Didn't you, Kathy? I just loved it. I really liked that word.
Well, so many of those Old English and Middle English words are just lovely, and it's a pity that they've sort of lost us, or we've lost them. I like it. And also what I liked was addercop is kept in Northern England as a dialect as a peevish, ill-natured person.
Oh, really?
I think that's fabulous. I want to use that as an insult.
I like that,
too.
there's
just something lovely about that. So next spooky word. Now, we talked a few weeks ago about Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
when we did the literary peeves. So let's get basic. Where does the name Frankenstein actually come from?
Oh, God.
Starting with that.
I think we did talk about that, Fletcher. Let's see if you remember, or did we not talk about it? Then you don't have to remember.
No, I don't remember talking about where the actual name came from. So Shelley didn't just make up the name Frankenstein? Oh, did she? I mean, yes. Kathy shakes her head. Yes. So Mary Shelley just made up the name Frankenstein?
She said she got it in a dream.
Ooh, wow.
It's probably literally, they say now, the Franconian mountain, because it stands. It could mean free stone. It could be the Franconian mountain, so it sounds sort of like Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. They had castles, so I mean, she says she got it in a dream, but it's sort of like one of those words that it's not really hard to come up with.
Yeah,
it's not like far-fetched.
Yeah.
But in an interesting, we decided to take this a little further, and in a letter to the New York Times on exactly June 2nd, 1992, an English professor named Paul Lewis discovered something interesting about Victor Frankenstein's surname. It could be used for other things. He stuck it onto a tomato. He was talking about genetically, modified crops, and he said, these things are frankenfood.
Oh.
So we have a new type of word here.
Yes. Even before that, Tim Burton had made a short film called Frankenweenie about a little Frankenstein dog.
Wow, wait a minute. When was Frankenweenie? Let's look that up, Fletcher.
2012.
No. It was earlier than that. It was like an early short film. He remade something later in 2012.
Ah.
Fletcher is correct, 1984.
Yeah.
Well, now you are correcting a lot of linguists.
Well, maybe they noticed something that was already happening and they were just bringing it up.
Yeah, because the whole concept of Franken as a prefix, everybody is saying really started in the 90s because of the genetically modified foods.
Oh, interesting.
Frankenfood became really big.
Yeah.
But Fletcher has really changed. But what is Frankenweenie? I mean, it's amazing the byways and eddies that we get into. I don't know anything about Frankenweenie specifically. But it was a sort of a riff on Frankenstein,
yes.
right?
With a little dog.
But he is taking that Franken and attaching, just like we take, the gate from Watergate and attach it to things.
He is. Mm-hmm. And the idea of Franken is that you use human efforts. We change nature by human efforts. We modify things. So he modified little Weenie, just like the other guys.
No, the dog's name was Sparky.
Okay, Sparky. Okay. Thank you for that correction.
Franken Sparky.
But we modify little Sparky just like we modified the food. So that's interesting. That is really interesting. We have a new. We should actually write that in so that the credit given where credit is due.
This makes me think. I was just gonna take this off on a whole other tangent. It makes me think of a set of stories that I read when I was in elementary school about a vampire rabbit named Bunnicula. Do you guys remember
Bunnicula? Yeah.
And I guess that Cula had already been played with, like with Blackula in the 70s.
Yeah, Blackula in the 70s. I remember that. Speaking of the bloods, though, there is a term now, Frankenword, which refers to portmanteau words that are really horrible. And we found one here. The Design Hotels Group, they dreamed up this idea, let's see if you can guess the word. Trips that involve both business and pleasure. There's a certain word that Design Hotels Group
this
wants
is just
to use.
Amazing.
Oh, man. It can't be like bleisure, can it?
Yes!
Yes! Well, bleisure. You're going on a bleisure
I think
trip.
bleisure more, or actually it's even better because leisure is involved even though you're not using the word. And I think that's a great Frankenword. I think a Frankenword is a great thing for really bad ideas.
I have to just read, though, that Nick Curtis, a journalist, referred to bleisure. I just love this. I have to read it. It's the Frankenword that sounds like an ointment for something nasty, or the noise you make when vomiting. Bleisure. It's true.
It is really an ugly word. It is definitely a Franken word. I think that's a great. It's funny because people have get upset about using Franken and prefixing it to words, but I think it really works well.
Oh yeah,
a Franken word instantly tells you this is a monstrosity.
Yes, that's
you
right.
Picture,
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be a good episode to do. Actually, one day we should do one on what we consider are like the worst Franken words.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
That sounds well. Bleisure has to be up there.
Oh gosh!
But I've never heard it, so I don't think it caught on, did it?
No, I don't. Actually, I'm going to look it up right as you speak. Let's go on. I want to look up Bleisure to see if it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's out there
Bleisure.
in the wild.
Wikipedia has Bleisure travel. A portmanteau. They're saying it's business and leisure, which is what makes more sense. We had pleasure there.
Yeah.
It's been studied since 2011. Bleisure travel has been maintaining a constant growth, accounting for 7% of all business trips. There's another. Let's see if we can get one more Franken word relating to it's a synonym for Bleisure.
Using the same.
No, we're using another word, vacation, this time.
Vacation.
Close.
Bizcation.
Yes.
Oh my god!
So Fletcher, are you going on a Bleisure trip or a bizcation? I don't know whether
It's funny because I always detested the word glamping for the glamorous camping, but these are worse.
These are worse.
Glamping is pretty bad too, though. I'd put that up there.
Yeah, I find glamping quite offensive. But
I know because on my last bizcation, we did not glamp.
No glamping.
No.
I think this is in this Halloween episode. This is the scariest thing we've talked about.
I think so.
I think so. I, for one, am very frightened. I'm blanching in a Bleisure way. Okay, we're moving on.
Please.
Okay, jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
What is the preferred way to spell, Mr. Spelling Bee Champ?
That's a good one, Catherine. Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so is it
the preferred way?
Right. Is it Jack hyphen O hyphen lantern, or is it Jack the first name and then O lantern as if he were Irish or something? O apostrophe lantern. The preferred way. I like that one better with the apostrophe, so I'm going to go with that.
Spell it for us, just the whole thing
including hyphens and apostrophes.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can make sure we all realize it, what you're saying.
Jack, Jack.
Right.
Second word, O apostrophe Lantern. No hyphens or anything.
No hyphen. Okay,
is Jack capitalized or lowercase?
Lowercase to this point, certainly.
You're right on the uppercase, lowercase. Jack-o'-lantern, it's not uppercase only, if it's the beginning of a sentence or something.
Yeah, so is the hyphenated version the preferred one then? Jack hyphen O hyphen lantern?
No.
Well, no. It's Jack hyphen O apostrophe.
What?
Hyphen lantern.
Wait,
the
what?
Preferred way.
Wait, what? O apostrophe hyphen?
I don't like that at all. I really don't.
That's insane. Who prefers that? How is that the preferred?
Everybody who matters, Fletcher.
The authorities prefer it, Fletcher. We're not going to go into who they said it. I hate it. I don't like that at all. Actually, curiously, how would you let's all weigh in without looking at this now. This is supposedly the preferred way. How would you spell it? That's not a big deal. I mean, you can spell it. They make the point when we've been doing this that you can spell it various ways.
Yeah.
Well, the second most accepted is hyphens, no apostrophe.
So my way is the least accepted of the three.
The Irish. Hello, top of the morning. I'm Jack-o'-lantern. Yes.
I would have done it with Fletcher. I would have done it. Is that what you did? I would have done Jack hyphen O apostrophe lantern.
Wait, you would have but you would have had a hyphen still at the beginning? Jack hyphen?
Yeah, I would have. I would have had it's Jack and then you said the Irish guy. It's Jack and then O lantern. O lantern. That sort of thing.
But you do have a hyphen.
It's I do my generic, I don't know what kind of accent, but it's always the same bad accent.
See, I would have no
Scots,
I would have no hyphens at all. It would be like Jack.
Yeah.
Jack would be the first name,
O-lantern.
basically, and then O lantern is the last name. No hyphens anywhere.
Yeah, no hyphens. No, that's what you had said. Yeah, I see that. I would have had a hyphen with Jack and then O'Lantern being like a word, like, like an Irish name or something.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't know what I would do now. I hate to say it, but I think I would do it the preferred way with the hyphens. But that's because I think I've seen it so much like that.
I don't really see Jack O'Lantern that much in print. I don't even know, but
I think apostrophe and hyphen right next to each other sounds crazy.
But without it, it looks sort of nude.
But see, I think I think you need the like o'clock. I think of the O with the apostrophe. I think of o'clock immediately. Yeah. So therefore. But then the Jack seems to be linked to that, so I have to link it with the hyphen. Is my logic.
I actually understand though that the hyphen doesn't make sense because if you've got it does. I see why you've got it because the apostrophe is the F. It's Jack of Lantern, so
right,
it makes sense that you'd have the hyphen after the F, which is an apostrophe.
After the Jack. See, I think you should have the hyphen after Jack because you're linking Jack. This is getting... Here we go again. Now we're arguing vociferously about how to spell...
That's what we do, right?
A completely useless word. And there's not even much of a... even when we were reading how to spell it, basically anything goes with spelling it, too. So
where does it come from? What is a Jack of a Lantern? Or who?
Okay, let's first of all think of why Jack.
Well, I don't know. Like I think of some old timey thing, like a guy named Jack of the Lantern, or something.
Mm-hmm. That's literally what it is. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I still don't really know what that means. Except this also reinforces my desired use of that apostrophe and only the apostrophe because that looks more old timey than something with a bunch of hyphens.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but who or what is the Jack?
Jack was sort of the generic in England. Jack you just used all the time. It was a generic name that you used for like anybody, especially young men, that were in the lower classes. So it was sort of like you're ubiquitous. You're just talking about whatever. It's like Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every man Jack of all trades. We have that sort of common.
Yeah. Okay.
Regular guy carrying something. In this case, he's carrying what? A lantern.
Aha.
And in this case, he could be something like a night watchman, or he could be someone carrying, like they said, will-o'-the-wisp in Latin, ignis fatuus, like a ghostly light in the past.
Right. That says boo.
Or bow.
Or
moo.
I want to weigh in, or moo, but that's like a calm one. Yeah. I want to weigh in on that. I'm going to just annoy everyone. I'm going to weigh in, though, on that, my use of the hyphen. How do you spell jackhammer?
I just spell it.
JACKHAMMER. It's one word, isn't it?
Yeah.
I spell it with a hyphen.
Oh.
I'm going to look it up now. Which is the preferred spelling of jackhammer?
Jackhammer's one word, like Frankenweenie.
I have it as that's interesting. I have it as 2 words, hyphen, and 1 word. So I guess we can anything goes.
I have it as it's preferred 1 word.
I prefer it with hyphen. So here we go.
Okay, historically it was hyphenated.
Aha, see?
So Ross, you're very old-fashioned.
I'm old-fashioned.
But now in North American English, the preferred spelling is 1 word.
Could we change it to Jack O'Hammer? You're Saying It Wrong is part of the NPR network and is produced in the studios of KMUW in Wichita, Kansas by me, Fletcher Powell. Kathy Petrus records from her home in Armia, Spain, Ross Petrus from his home in Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Torrin Anderson composed our theme music. Our digital team is Beth Golay and Carly Cooper. Carly Cooper is also our video editor. You can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can find all of our past episodes by subscribing to the You're Saying It Wrong podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or by visiting us at kmuw.org. If you have a question for Kathy and Ross, if you'd like to suggest a topic, or you just want to reach out, you can email me at powell@kmuw.org, or email them at kandrpetrus@gmail.com. You can also record a voice memo of yourself asking your question. You might get your voice heard on air, or you can download the KMUW app and press the Talk to Us button. You can find Kathy and Ross's books pretty much anywhere you get books, and a handful of them are also available on audiobook, read by the authors themselves. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.